Hi, my name is Karen Whittemore. I am a family nurse practitioner. I have been in practice for the last 20 years now. Actually 25 years. I know it's been a while. Yeah, I got my nursing degree as a registered nurse back in 1992 and then went on to the University of Utah for my master's degree in 1998 and became a board certified family nurse practitioner. And in all of my years of practice, I have seen a lot of changes happen with medication and with how we do our treatments, how we manage different conditions. But I have never seen anything like the X39 LifeWave technology. And today we're going to talk a little bit about that. And I have a special guest here with us. This is my friend, Christina Dupree. She is going to share her story with us today. So, Christina, why don't you let everybody know, first of all, what happened to you? It was more than 20 years now, almost 25. Yeah.
It was the same year as 9/11. It was right before 9/11. And then 9/11 happened, and then I packed up my bags and my kids and moved to Utah. I was assaulted in my apartment in front of my then baby children. They had taken a gun and pointed it to my face and wanted my money, and I refused to give it to them because I didn't have any. And so they didn't like that answer, and they split my skull to where I got 7 staples.
So was that getting hit with the gun?
I got hit with the butt of the gun, and they split the skull. I got rushed to the hospital. And from that time until about 5 years ago, I couldn't smell or taste a thing, nothing. And it was horrible. It was a horrible way to live, not being able to smell and taste anything. I lived that way for, like I said, 20 something years. And then I met Karen and I got introduced to the patches, and she had given me one to help with the pain that I was feeling. I was feeling some back pain. And by the time I put the patch on and got home, I could feel the pain start to lift, and I was sold. That was it. And then within a few months, I started buying more and more patches. I can't even remember which ones I used. And then one day I went into Karen's office, and I remember, should I go into the details? I remember going into the bathroom, and it stunk so badly. I remember thinking, man, it just stinks. And then it dawned on me, holy cow, I can smell. It was not awesome because it really stunk, but I mean, it was awesome that I got to smell. And I was waiting and waiting for Karen to come into the room to tell her. I was so excited, I couldn't stand it. And she came into the room, and I think I tackled her, I'm not sure. But I was so excited because I got my sense of smell back. And then I got home and I tried to eat, and little by little by little, my sense of smell and taste were coming back, just little by little. And it was because of the patches. There's no other explanation. It was a heck of a way to get my smell back, but it came back, and it was awesome. That's because of the patches.
Fully back now.
My taste is back. I can taste now.
Yeah.
And my smell is back. It was an awesome day. It was the best Monday of my life. I remember putting that on Facebook. This is the best Monday ever. Happy Monday.
Yeah, I can't even imagine going through life without the ability to smell and taste, because food is so important to me.
Right?
I love food. Yeah, and I think we all do. It's a wonderful pleasure. And you also had a cat who never purred. Do you want to share that story with us?
Absolutely. I had a cat for probably 15 years. She never ever looked old. She still looks so young to the very end. But she never ever purred or meowed. And this one day, I just decided, I can't even remember which patch. I'm going to go with the X39 because that's one of my favorites. I just put it on her collar, and then the next day she purred and she meowed, and it was amazing. It was amazing. And now I have a cat, Carl, and I put the carnosine patch on him. And I think
so tell them first what was going on with his ear.
Oh yeah, he had gotten in a really bad fight. He's my little tomboy cat. And he got in a really, really bad fight where his ear was just completely mangled. And he had a sore on the inside that they really couldn't do anything about. They kept pushing medicine, pushing more medicine, pushing more medicine. So I got
How many months of medications?
This is 2 years. This isn't months.
Oh, that was 2 years?
2 years.
Of being put on medication to try to heal that ear?
Back and forth with the vet.
Wow.
I went to every vet in town and they kept saying the same thing, just keep putting the medication. Yeah, this was 2 years. This is how bad his ear was. And then I had my foot surgery and I thought, well, let's give Carl a patch. So I put a carnosine on him, and little by little, as my foot was healing from the surgery, Carl's ear was healing from the patch. And besides the healing part, it's like catnip. He goes berserk. He's crazy. He just goes running up and down the halls. We played chase in my house. It's just, it's amazing. He's not an old cat. He's supposed to be a little older, but he doesn't act it. He acts like a kitty. He's such a good cat. But his ear now, I think it's been 8 months, 9 months, is completely healed. He's got hair over the sore that used to look so disgusting over his ear. It's completely healed. The vet's amazed. It's amazing. These patches, I can't brag enough about how much it's changed my life. Absolutely.
Yeah, and for those of you that were here last week, we shared a little fish story. Well, you had the fish experience too. So I want to share about your fish.
My fish jumped out of the tank somehow, and Misty, my cat, found it, and I put some patches on the tank because Karen said so. Somebody had suggested that.
Yeah, we had heard about the previous fish story.
And she was kind of out of breath after being out on the floor and my cat scaring the bejeebies out of her. So I put some patches on there, and little by little, the fish started coming back to life. I can't tell you, I can just keep going on.
Now, was it lying on its side?
She was on her side, ready to go. Misty was ready to have a snack, but I grabbed the fish and I threw her back in the tank, and that was Miss Molly, and she's fine. She was fine. The patch helped her. It goes on and on.
I love it. So my question for you is, have you been patched yet? So I have been using the LifeWave patches for the last 3 years now.
This is all you.
Oh, she doesn't want to be in the spotlight anymore. All right, that's okay. But can you imagine elevating, activating, regenerating your body's own stem cells? Experience a level of health and of vitality that you haven't experienced since your youth. Imagine having no pain, sleeping through the night, having more energy, and reversing aging. Well, these things are possible with the LifeWave patches and with the X39. So, did you know that as we age, our stem cells decline? The fewer stem cells you have, the faster you age and the slower you heal. And hundreds and millions of people out there are experiencing symptoms of aging, like myself. I was noticing that the tissue under my eyelids was getting thin. I was noticing that I was getting recession along my hairline, which I did not like. My sleep was a huge issue, though. I was only sleeping for 1 to 2 hours at night and getting up all the time to pee. As we age, the stem cells in our body become less and less effective. By age 60, the stem cells in our body show very little activity, and they become slower, and they're releasing less of the growth factors that are needed to repair our body. By the time we're in our mid-70s, we are showing almost no stem cell activity at all. And that's why older people have such a difficult time healing from injury. Now, LifeWave does have a disclaimer. LifeWave products are not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease or medical condition, and you always want to consult with a physician or other qualified healthcare provider before embarking on any new treatment program, product use, diet, or fitness program. So that being said, this little patch does not heal you. It's not doing anything like that. what it's doing is it's giving your body the tool it needs to help your body to be able to heal. It is basically the holy grail of reverse aging. And what it's doing is it's made out of copper it is made of organic nanocrystals, sorry. And the patch will elevate your copper peptide. And in turn, that activates your stem cells. It is clinically proven to enhance overall health and vitality. So how I like to explain this is you think about going out in the sunshine. This is basically frequency medicine. And Albert Einstein back in his day said that frequency medicine would be the medicine of the future. And this is a perfect example of that. And the sunlight is an example of that as well. When you go out into the sun, there are certain frequency wavelengths that hit your body and tell your body to start making vitamin D. And the patch is working with that same principle. Our body is constantly emitting light and frequencies. Those light frequencies are in the form of body heat that we can actually see with night goggles. But if we look with night goggles, it looks like we're these glowing beings because we are light beings. And it's that frequency of light that will hit the patch and it gets infused with this frequency, gets sent back into the skin, into the body, stimulating the activation, the production of copper peptide, which then activates our stem cells. That's what's happening in our body. Now, the NIH has some amazing things to say on its website just about the benefits of copper peptide alone. So it says that copper peptide stimulates blood vessel and nerve outgrowth and increases collagen and elastin for visible anti-aging. Copper peptide's ability to improve tissue repair has been demonstrated for skin, lung connective tissue, bony tissue, liver, and stomach lining. GHK has also been found to possess powerful cell productive actions such as multiple anti-cancer activities and anti-inflammatory actions, as well as having anti-anxiety, anti-pain, and anti-aggression activities. And those are just the first few things that it mentions on its website. It does go on. So who came up with this patch? Well, David Schmidt is our inventor, founder, and CEO. He has over 130 US patents with more than 70 just alone in regenerative medicine. He is a scientist and an inventor and a two-time recipient of the Advanced Technology Award from the International Hall of Fame. So how did LifeWave first begin? Well, he was working on a government project trying to help Navy SEALs to be able to stay awake for 30 hours in a mini sub without the use of harmful stimulants or chemicals to keep them awake. He ended up coming up with our first prototype, the Energy Enhancer. And then 9/11 happened and the military ended up shifting their focus. But that turned out to be a blessing because he realized, you know, I have something wonderful. This needs to be shared with the world. This shouldn't just be only available to the US military. And so he came up with the company LifeWave. And in its first year of business, they did over $17 million in sales. This company, LifeWave, has unique products that are exclusively protected by multiple patents, over 80 research and clinical studies with independent researchers and universities and medical and scientific experts doing studies with this. So this is one of the studies that I really like. This is a brain scan on a 77-year-old female. So on the scale to the right, you can see that going into the red zone means that there is more voltage in the brain. So in this first session, before using the X39, you can see that her brain is a very overstimulated, overactive brain. And she's probably a very anxious person. After 3 weeks, you can see that her brain looks much more calm. And after 6 weeks, she maintains that calmness. And what is amazing is that at the age of 77, like I mentioned earlier, you generally have little to no stem cell activity at all. So the fact that she was able to activate those stem cells that she had and stimulate, regenerate things, that is amazing. And you can see on this other side here that this is one of the patents. This is the patent for the X39. And you do not get patents unless you can prove what you're saying your product does. So in this abstract, it says that it activates copper peptide. It stimulates copper peptide for the activation of stem cells. So moving on here, what are the benefits that you might expect from using the X39 technology? Well, what we found in our scientific studies is many people experience rapid pain relief. Reduction in inflammation, and inflammation is one of the major things that that is linked with so many of our health problems, with our cardiovascular disease, our autoimmune disorders, cancers. All of these have inflammation at its core. And so anything that we can do to help improve that is going to help overall help our health. It supports wound healing, and we have numerous demonstrations of the wound healing, and Christina's story about her cat's ear is a perfect example of that. It helps improve energy and vitality, mental clarity, enhances sports performance, and faster recovery from exercise, along with improved skin appearance. So what I noticed for myself was probably about 3 months after starting the X39, I noticed that the tissue under my eyes was getting plumper. I also noticed that my hairline was coming back, and my sleep improved dramatically. Now I typically just get up once to pee, and that's because I drink so much water right before going to bed. I have had nights where I don't even get up at all. For me, that's a huge thing. That's a huge improvement. But what can you expect if you were to start using these products? Well, with the X39, within the first few days, 4,000 genes begin to reset. That is a third of your body's genome. And within 6 weeks, your brain starts becoming more balanced, as we saw with the images before. There's decreased symptoms of PTSD, anxiety, and depression. Within 3 months, your collagen is increased, which means decreases in wrinkles, hair growth increases, and also increases in your structural integrity of both your skeletal and muscular system. So we don't just want collagen for the outside of our body, but we need it to maintain our structure, our joint health, everything. We need that collagen. Within 6 months, this is a study I absolutely love. They showed that in a recent study of 14 out of 15 people, they lowered their vascular age by an average of 8 years after just 6 months of using the X39. So that's heart reversing. The heart reverses in age. It's not just anti-aging, it's age reversing. So that's what we're talking about. And when we consider that cardiovascular disease is still the #1 killer, this is super significant. We all need something like this. So where can you go if you want to learn more? We do have a website. It's called yourteaminmotion.com. Check it out. We've got some testimonials on there. We have information about the patches. And whoever invited you here, you may want to get back with that person and find out how you might want to begin using them. There are ways to start using the product for $50 off. Instead of paying $150 a month for the X39, you can get it just for $100 a month by becoming a preferred or a preferred customer plus. Preferred plus customer. Or if you are the type of person that, hey, I love to share information. If I know about something that's going to help somebody else, I want to get it out there, I want to share with people, then you may actually it may be to your advantage to become a brand partner. So get with the person that invited you here today, and they can give you more information. So thank you. Do you want to hop in again, Christina, and say goodbye to all? We appreciate you joining us.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, and we'll be back next week.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Thank you, Christina. Thank you,
You're
Karen.
Thanks.
I'll
I
see
love
you
your
next month.
story.
Same time next week?
Yes, same time. We will have
Bye.
Candace. Candace will be joining us with her story.
Perfect. Thank you, Karen.
Bye.
Thanks.
Bye.
Take care. Bye-bye.
Thank you.